Hello, and welcome to first round coverage of the 7th annual Cachuma Classic on Disconnected. I'm Ethan Wellin, and I'm joined by Chris Brophy. Hey, Chris.
Hey there.
We're going to be starting round one on the main course today, Cachuma. Two layouts here, and the first and third rounds will be this more park-style course in the front. And first up, we've got Connor Hanrahan. Connor is Santa Barbara local.
Looks like a very doable sidearm with the target in that position.
Yep, that's Eli Haushalter. That's the 2024 defending champion of this tournament.
Oh, that make the Mandy?
And Diego Perez out of Huntington Beach. Looks like Arthur did miss the mandatory. That's the drop zone.
It's a tough drive. Much tougher backhand play than forehand.
Yeah, this is I believe the shortest position on this hole, and it plays as a par 3. Sometimes we'll see it stretched out there to the corner and play as a par 4. But in this spot, it is doable. It's a bit of a reach, but we'll see if Eli can get a birdie here.
Nice grab.
One of only two birdies in the first round for the open field.
It's a really fun turnover when they do play it long. That was a fun shot.
The fifth is only 301 feet on the yardstick, but it plays way uphill, which is probably why Connor, the rocket arm, is opting for this thumber over the top of everything. There is space to take a backhand up there to the right by the telephone pole, which is probably what most of these players are going to attempt. Arthur's probably going to be C2 there.
I don't think I've seen this position before. This one looks pretty fun. Uh-oh, that's dangerous.
It's a really unique green because of the way this tree hangs down on the two sides. If you're short where Arthur is, you can make a good run. But you have to get a little more technical if you get off to the side. Really nice birdie by Diego to get it back to even. Hole 6, this is more of a classic, Chris. I'm sure you've seen this one before. Hyzering down, kind of a tight right angle to the left.
Tricky little hole. Fun shot, yeah. One of the classic ones on this 18.
There is OB long and left, but it's almost feels out of play with the grass. So much green in the fairway, the discs are not skipping out into that area like they do in some years.
Looked like he tried for the high route, didn't quite make it. Low gap, ooh, underpowered. It's tough. You're trying to attack that gap and have it ride downhill without going OB long. Tricky shot.
Yeah, probably worth noting, this course is very wind dependent, and it can get extremely windy with the gusts coming off the lake there, but it was pretty manageable in this first round. The guys have opportunities to attack.
Whoa.
Wow, that is a huge putt by Eli.
What a good looking putt.
That is his game. He makes a lot of jumpers, a lot of deep C2 and C3 putts.
It's very flat, very straight. Guess he can afford to putt like that.
Back to back for Diego.
Let's go.
Hole 7, very technical. 275 downhill. There's a road right behind it that plays his OB.
Kind of the same thing as that hole before. It's just a knee knocker because you need to attack the OB downhill. You know, you're dependent on playing the skip.
Yeah, and I love to see the anxiety for the players after they release. They'll stand there and watch and talk to their frisbee.
Yeah, that one looked like it could have been hot. Oop, a little high. If you don't get off the tee on a hole like this, it can be hard to get that upshot close too. You don't really want to have a long putt. Bad things can happen.
Oh, hang on.
Damn. It's a good try.
Frustrating putting green for these guys.
Ooh, okay.
Eli picking up a lot of strokes. So that stretch of 5, 6, 7 and 8 as well, one of the harder on the course in terms of the scoring average. 417 feet, the 8th is a rip. And you see that mandatory tree on the right side. So we're going to see big turnovers, maybe a couple of sidearms.
Ooh.
I like this approach from Arthur.
Nice line. Really attacked it. That Mandy's just far enough away that you can't turn it too early. It's a cool hole.
Looks like Connor might have hit that rock right in the circle.
Well, there's a nice play. Grass to slow it down. Oof, that putt's working. There we go.
It's an extremely hot 4-under start for the defending champ. The 9th, this is just a stock hyzer with the wind down. 246, this is the shorter sleeve on this basket. So Chris, you might have thrown the longer in the past.
Long one's tough to get to. It's a lot of distance and left.
Yeah.
Short's a little more manageable.
Four good shots, should be 4 birdie opportunities. The 9th was the 3rd easiest hole on the day. Looks like we had right at 50% of the field making birdie here. But everyone on our card.
Elevated basket right by OB. Oh, they're scared. Diego gives it a crack. There you go. Way to attack it.
Yeah, if you choose overstable mid like Diego did, you can kind of just rip it straight at that tree and know that you're going to fall in front of it. I think Connor's really fighting the putter right now.
First miss.
Back-to-back tap-in birdies for Diego. As we move over to the 11th, this is the double mandatory. It's a steep hyzer, or you even see a fair number of forehand rollers on this hole.
Tight enough gap, just far enough off the fairway to give you some pause. You have to really pierce the gap intentionally. And just like that shot, typically you have to play it pretty high up into that gap to have enough time to fall all the way left, as I remember.
Yeah, it's a great result for Eli. That wooden fence that you can see in the background is an OB line. So if you don't get your hyzer angle, you can get into some trouble on the backside. Looks like Arthur might have been right on the verge of that. Another birdie for Diego. The putter is getting hot for him, too.
One of the prettier views on the course. Once again, having to attack downhill. Hard to do. Need nerves of steel. What's better, go off the cliff off the tee or off the putt?
Yeah, for my money, I think, as we see another overhand from Connor here, I think you want to rifle it down there because the brush behind is pretty thick. And if you can manage to stop it and at least have the uphill putt out of the weeds, you're almost never going to make bogey from that scenario. You have to be so defensive from this side, from the high side.
Yeah, these are sketchy putts.
Due to the construction at... let's take a look at the leaderboard. So Eli's cruising, top of the field. Some other defending champions up there, Lewis Bitney, a past champion here. Because of the construction, we've got a shortened hole on the 13th here, and this is essentially a must-get for the open field. 175 feet. Pretty simple chip forehand.
The tree's just fat enough to mess with your putt. Say that grass is catching them pretty well, slowing them down.
Yeah, so lush and green at Cachuma this year. And you got to give props to the local club and to Hugh Montgomery, the league groundskeeper, for keeping this place trimmed up and ready for tournament play.
Big uphill. This is a cool hole. I mean, the biggest of arms can just unleash. Steeper than it might look on camera. Yeah. There's a lot of gravity on this hole.
Yeah, insanely uphill shot. The road that Diego and now Eli are trickling down into, it plays as a river, an OB river. So either side is safe.
A little bit of a curb, though, so if you do roll off, which a lot of righty hyzers do roll down that hill, pretty easy to roll into the road and not get out on either side, actually. A little safer play. Should be a flatter angle. Tough upshot still.
Yeah, there's sort of a natural bunker because of this pin position being out on the peninsula. If you penetrate too straight like Arthur did, you can get into a spot where there's almost no angle to get to the green. He's just going to play it through for par. And this, I believe, is an eagle putt. Ooh.
Yeah, I like to say nobody's ever accidentally just crushed one uphill. It's, once again, a very intentional act. Pretty cool. Uphill distance is a little different.
Okay, so on to the 15th. This is a pretty straight ahead downhill 297. I think it plays like 260. You know, you can take any mid or putter, or you can go over the top with, this thumber, or you can throw even a spike hyzer.
That gap's, just tight enough that it can catch you. Catch you on one side or the other, and if you do drop, it's not even a guaranteed par. It's not that fun if you catch that edgy stuff. So it's a cool hole.
It's
Hit the gap
shot. I like Diego's play. Just kind of like smack it into that hill, use it as a backstop instead of trying to control the speed so much.
He's rewarded.
Another double mandatory on 16. Low ceiling.
Get down.
Looks like Eli might have hit the mandatory tree.
Caught some of that low-hanging stuff. Oh, I like the roller. Let's go.
That looks great.
Looks like he gave himself a putt. Firebird forehand roller. Nice creativity.
Ouch. It's going to be a first bogey for our leader.
It's a good play.
See the wind beginning to pick up a little bit. The leaves beginning to dance.
Got a couple big holes ahead. Probably a tailwind for him on this next big shot.
533 feet, par 4 on the 17th. It plays a little bit uphill. And you are negotiating quite a lumpy rubber mat tee pad here. So I'm going to keep an eye on the run-ups. I think this is a hole, Chris, that baits you into trying to do too much. Especially for these open guys that can perhaps begin to think about eagle. Really something that's just 350 feet and straight can give you a pretty easy birdie here.
Looks like it's just pinched off enough on the left where they can't really, throw a big ante at it. Obviously got that road running up. Oh, one might have gotten away a little bit.
I think we're definitely seeing the evidence of that. A little bit of tail left to right, scooping up all these sidearms and pushing them.
Yeah, another one just slips out left side. And the right side grab. Good putt.
2 in a row for Connor, trying to find a little bit of a rhythm. '18th plays, very similar in a lot of ways. 500 feet, a little bit uphill, a little bit tighter off the tee, but it opens up in the second half of the flight. And really, as long as you stay off that fence line on the left, you're going to have options to approach for birdie.
It's a pretty good rip. Yeah, there's that Mandy on the right side, too, that can just give you pause. You want to flex it and get some distance out there, but you can't go too far into the center of that open space.
Eli Haushalter down on the left, and it opens up this forehand kind of secondary fairway, whereas Arthur is more out on the Haushalter side, the backhand Haushalter side. Diego's going to take that little chip play.
There's a road back there, so you can't be too aggressive. Sometimes people leave themselves a little short by being timid.
After such a hot start, I think Eli will be disappointed to play 17 and 18 over par. So we cross the road back to hole 1. This is probably the hardest pin position for this hole, set deep against the campground.
Tricky shot, too. So much stuff blocking. To be able to just throw a thumb or tomahawk or whatever that was over the top is pretty incredible.
Yeah, huge advantage on this hole. All of your other options are doable but dicey. I mean, Eli's going to go high flex sidearm. You have the high flex backhand. The Haushalter backhand requires 550 plus feet of power. You don't really see that very often. And with the wind ripping like this, the roller is pretty sketchy.
Whoa!
Wow. That is a huge birdie by Arthur. Guessing we didn't see many today. It's like only 8 birdies in the open field on hole number 1.
Only 309 feet? I think that happens to me. I stand on the tee and rub my eyes. How's this only 309? It looks ungettable.
Definitely plays a little uphill. Just so blocked. The second hole is much more attackable. 306 feet, a little bit downhill, and this time the Haushalter line is wide open. Well, you can see the wind is ripping. Arthur definitely got carried away in some of that. It's like a cross headwind.
His disc just got manhandled. Road right behind the target, so once again you can See some people hesitant at the end to really power up.
Yeah, and between the wind and this is an elevated pin, you'd really like to not leave yourself one of these.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, gutty par save.
Darn.
Just like that, the final hole of the round. Hole number 3. 408 feet with a mandatory forcing you to stay off of that road on the right. And then the green is back in this collection of small trees. Sidearm is a great play, but that crosswind is just not letting it finish. This was the hardest hole today, based on scoring average.
408, yeah, not your average Joe forehand.
So a lot of ways to get into trouble. Feels like our card had a pretty big handful of these near misses on the circle's edge putts this round. Diego's going to hope to take a little momentum into round number 2.
Yeah, once that wind picks up in the afternoon, it can play tough. All of a sudden, those putts get tough out there.
With Arthur's tap in, we'll take a look and see where we stand as we look ahead to round number 2 at the Mohawk course. Looks like 2 Ricos on the leaderboard. Ezra Hapner and 2023 champ Lewis Bitney. Come back and check out round 2 coverage. We'll see you there.